Every week, I meet aspiring startup founders who are stuck. They know startups face dismal odds of success, and so before taking the plunge, they try to first find a perfect startup idea, but a perfect idea is a myth. And waiting for the perfect idea is a recipe for never starting. The number two reason why founders fail is not starting, and so in this video, I'm going to show you how to not find a perfect idea, but a good enough startup idea to begin with. Hi there, if you're new to this channel, my name is Ash Maurya. I'm an entrepreneur and author and the creator of the one-page business modeling tool, Lean Canvas. On this channel, I share systematic strategies and techniques for starting and growing a business. So where does this myth of the perfect idea come from? I blame the press and the media. The media loves to celebrate stories of visionary founders who saw the future and charted a course to intersect it with a revolutionary new product offering. While these make for great stories and movies, behind every visionary and overnight success story usually lies years of hard work, experimentation, and a series of drastic pivots or course corrections that the storytellers conveniently skip. More than 2/3 of all successful startups drastically pivot their ideas along the way, and what actually ends up working almost never looks anything like where the founder started. This means that what separates successful entrepreneurs isn't necessarily starting with a perfect idea, but rather a plan A. The true job of an entrepreneur then is to turn this plan A into a plan or business model that works, and this is the key bit. They need to do this before running out of resources and before someone else does this, because every business model has a finite window of opportunity before it closes. This requires a fundamental search versus execution mindset shift. Good founders don't execute ideas, they search for working business models. They're okay with starting anywhere because all startups come enveloped in a fog of uncertainty, and the only way to vet good ideas from bad ideas isn't through more fictional planning or analysis, but by taking those first few initial steps. Good founders don't chase perfection, but rather balance speed and uncertainty with learning and iteration to shape their early ideas into working business models. So this begs the obvious next question: how do you find a good enough idea spark or plan A to start with? Now, you'll hear the experts say to start with problems, but I don't find this to be a particularly helpful or useful starting point, because simply asking, what problem can I solve, is too open-ended a question. You easily end up with big and wicked problems like ending world hunger or trying to solve poverty, which are too complex, or you end up with obvious surface-level problems that are not specific enough. A slightly better and more common question is asking, what problem can I solve with X, where X is some new technology that recently became accessible, like AI at the moment, or blockchain or the internet before that. Now, while this is a slightly better starting point, it's still too open-ended. And especially if you're a technical founder, it's easy to over-index on the initial hype that follows any new technology and fall into the innovator's bias trap. This is where once you've decided to use a hammer, everything starts looking like a nail, and you unconsciously start inventing problems just to justify the solution that you want to build. The trap here is being too early to market and creating a solution looking for a problem, which is not a very good place to be. All good ideas need to address specific and existing problems that people struggle with, not future or unknown problems that they don't yet care about. But these problems are often not so obvious at the beginning, and so the idea generation approach that I recommend and have used many times for my own products doesn't involve starting with problems or solutions, but rather existing alternatives. It's built on a mental model I call the innovator's gift. The basic premise of the innovator's gift is simple. Innovation is fundamentally about causing a switch from some old way to a new way. In other words, every successful product displaces some existing product. So the best way to uncover a real problem we're solving is by asking what's broken with this existing product. Here's how to make this practical. Make a list of all the products or services you have bought or used in the last 3 to 6 months. These don't have to be big ticket purchases, but don't pick something routine like buying a cup of coffee. Pick things where you struggled or spent time researching and evaluating the product or service. Now, your objective is to imagine something better. New problems worth solving come disguised as disappointing outcomes, pet peeves, struggles, or workarounds. Try to uncover these things by asking the following questions. Did the product achieve the outcome you were expecting? Was it easy to use? Could you create something that either delivered a better outcome or would be easy to use, or both? Here's the origin story behind Lean Canvas, the one-page business modeling tool I created in 2009 that followed this process. At the time, I was cutting my teeth on putting lean startup principles into practice with my own products. I needed a way to capture and prioritize the riskiest assumptions in my products, and I used a set of worksheets that I found at the back of Steve Blank's book, The 4 Steps to the Epiphany. The problem with these worksheets was that they weren't very visual and were difficult to maintain and update over time. This is when I stumbled into Alex Osterwalder's business model canvas. I was drawn to its one-page simplicity and modeled my current products using it. While it was a huge improvement over the worksheets and business plans that I had written in the past, I found many of the boxes on the business model canvas to be more applicable to established companies than early-stage startups like the products I was working with. Many of the same boxes described scaling risks such as key partnerships, which would be important down the road, but I struggled to capture what I found to be most risky and important at the start of my products. Things like problems and solutions. I noticed the business model canvas was released under a Creative Commons license and the creators encourage remixing, and so I started tinkering with a few of these boxes. I ended up changing 4 boxes and adding 3 new ones. If you want to know why I made these changes, I'll link an article in the description below. This tinkering of the business model canvas was the initial idea spark that eventually led to the Lean Canvas and the frameworks I now teach on Lean Foundry and Lean Stack. New problems worth solving come from old solutions, and you can see the progression of problems and solutions in the business modeling, business planning space on this timeline. Now, I find the best place to capture my idea sparks is also on a Lean Canvas. And yes, being the technical geek that I am, I had a meta-recursive Lean Canvas where I built a Lean Canvas on the Lean Canvas itself. As you explore your idea sparks, I encourage you to keep an idea journal or sketch out a rough Lean Canvas or leaner canvas. If you're looking for a free Lean Canvas tool, you can find one at leancanvas.com. Now, at the start of this video, I said that the number 2 reason why founders fail is not starting. And hopefully this technique of idea generation will help you generate several ideas that you can start considering. But once you generate a few ideas, don't rush into building them out, because the number 1 reason why startups fail is wasting resources on building something nobody wants. The next step is not rushing to build an MVP, but rather prioritizing and then stress testing your most promising startup ideas to find the one idea to go all in on. If you're serious about finding and validating a startup idea, consider joining my 30-day business model design challenge, where I outline the exact process I've used to bootstrap all my products from concept to scale. I'll link the challenge in the description below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.